I'm Andrew Baker. I'm the buying director at Virgin Wines, and I'm here to talk to you about what we have to look forward to in 2022. I think we're all aware of what's happened in 2021, not just in wine, but shortages in general. Ships being here, there, and in the other place. And actually, 2022, there's probably some good things to look forward to. The reality is, on the ground, that we've had very short harvests in certain places, certain very key places, one of them being the whole of France, another in New Zealand. These short harvests we can deal with because we invest in the vintage, and we've managed to secure supply in those short periods. But leading on from that, there's opportunity in 2022, which is an opportunity to explore a little bit more, to expand your palate, because if prices rise for certain things, then it actually opens out opportunity to buy other things. So I think 2022 is going to be a year of exploration. So in France, in 2021, there was a frost in April. Now, that affected 80% of the vineyard areas. It was pretty profound, and frosts are very destructive. It's quite early on in the growing season, so just after budding. But it's very destructive because it can and does and did restrict yield quite heavily. So the vines budded again, so you get a reasonable crop, but it's much reduced the crop. The quality of the crop is really good, but the volume of it is really much reduced, and that's almost across the board in France. French wine becomes a more rare commodity, if you like. It was not more acute than in Champagne, for example. So a much reduced yield means you produce less wine, essentially, and that has an effect on pricing. The quality is still there, but it's just there's less of it, and because of that, we may see some scarcity in 2022, and also we may see some edging up in pricing. So this is where the opportunity lies, because there are so many good alternatives, so many things available to those classic French styles. So we can draw from all over the world to fill that out and to expand your horizons a little bit. You take Champagne. Champagne is under pressure from the lower volume stuff. So the really prestige, kind of deluxe cuvées. These would be the things that would be, really quite rare. A bottle of Veuve Clicquot, absolutely fine. We've invested in that. We've talked to the champagne houses. We'll be able to maintain supply of that. But it's as you nudge up into the more expensive cuvées. The most obvious thing to do, and which has been demonstrated over the last year and a half, is to go local. England produces amazing sparkling wine. We're doing projects with people like Henner's in the south, absolutely fantastic vintage products which are exclusive to us, which just demonstrate that refinement that you would expect from champagne. I mean, why not? It's actually still cheaper than those deluxe cuvées. So that's kind of the opportunity that we're trying to explore, and we are exploring, with local producers. On a budget level, of course, we have Prosecco, which again has expanded. It's no longer just white sparkling. There's a rosé sparkling, which you may be aware of, but that's very recently come on stream. Prosecco is an expanding category in terms of style and in terms of price point. And that is something which it's not just, it's more every day than champagne, but then you would drink it more often, right? So that's worth exploring as well in terms of sparkling wine. In terms of the profoundness of how regions have been affected and the uniqueness of the wines that are produced there, New Zealand Sauvignon, particularly Marlborough Sauvignon, which is a massive thing. It's a style everyone recognises, we all know about it, we all love it. That has been also affected by very poor yields in 2021. Now, once again, we've invested really heavily in that. We've had to, pay a little bit more money for it. We won't be passing any of that on to you, but it's really worth maintaining that so you can get it. But it does throw up this question, which is actually, if I love New Zealand Sauvignon, and if prices are rising elsewhere, where do I get it? What do I drink? Where do I get it? And what's the alternative? So you go to Chile and South Africa. South Africa and Chile are quite famous for their Sauvignons. They're making styles which at some level are quite similar to the Kiwi style. South Africa has something beyond that, which is a South African style, and so does Chile, to be fair. But they're making some absolutely terrific Sauvignons. So that aromatic, crisp style, which you expect from Marlborough, that's being replicated elsewhere, and more besides that. So our recommendation for 22 is you just explore those places. We're shipping plenty of Sauvignons from both of those origins. So there's lots to taste there. That's fantastic. We would always encourage everybody to explore wine, taste wines they've never tasted before. We have wine tastings for that, and we have wine advisors for that as well. So that's just about taking a style you like and maybe getting a suggestion from another country, another origin, another region that's quite similar, that you might like, that you may have not tasted before. So with this exploration, the safest way and the best way we have available to you for that is our wine advisors. They're extremely knowledgeable bunch of people, and they know about these associations. They will be able to recommend specific wines to you, or specific regions, or specific winemakers to you, because of the depth of knowledge is that great. That's really the path that we need to be going on in exploration in 2022. So I would say that if you don't have a wine advisor, you really ought to speak to one, because they're a great bunch of people and they know what they're on about.